Welcome to the Tissue Box Podcast. I'm your host, Pam Jordan.
You're being strong for what? You're killing your mental if you don't deal with this stuff right now, in this moment.
Especially men.
Especially men. Especially men.
They have a lot
Mm-hmm.
on them, and they're not taught. You know, women, we're emotional.
Right.
We'll share our feelings
Sure.
in a split second.
Yes.
But men, not the same.
And you're absolutely right. I have more men clients than I have female clients. Yeah.
Wow.
I sure do. Because they were not taught that it was okay to cry or fail. You know.
Fail.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And it's okay. You know, this one guy said he had lost his job for 3 years, and his wife never knew. He left the house every single day as if he was going to work every day. For 3 years.
How in the world?
How in the world? How in the world? He said, Miss Mobley, I was ashamed.
Can you imagine the stress, what he was dealing with, what
Right.
he was carrying?
Yes. Yes. And I said, well, how did you pull this off? Where did you get the money from? He said, I was leaving my house every single day, selling myself to supplement that income.
Wow.
Until I finally found a job. But my wife never knew. Never knew.
Wow. We got to start talking.
Oh, we have to start talking.
Because I'm sure she would have understood, but it was his
Oh,
fear
my goodness, yes.
of failure.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. And he got a divorce because he was selling himself, not because he lost his job.
Wow.
Isn't that something? All you had to do was talk
All you
about
had
it, brother.
to do was talk.
That's all you had to do. Just talk about it. And have tons and tons and tons and tons of stories about how men are held hostage by the internal pain they refuse to talk about.
We got to do better.
We have to. We have to.
And it starts with the way that we're raising our boys now.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, if you're a grown man, what do you want to be taught?
Right.
Most of them do not want to be taught because they think they know everything. Right?
Right.
And that's why we have so many damaged men out there that are in these relationships damaging women.
Absolutely.
Who are nurturers and they care, so you know they're gonna want to help.
Yeah, and the divorce rate is so high now in the black community.
But you got to want to help yourself.
You have to.
You got to take that look in the mirror. As much as you don't want to, you got to look at yourself and say, what am I doing?
Right. That's exactly what. Care about yourself enough.
Right. What am I on the verge of losing?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And in some cases, they lose it all.
Too late.
Too late. That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
We got to do better.
We have to do better. We have to do better.
So when you talk to these men and you counsel these men, are their wives counseled as well?
Yes.
So
yes.
you do the
yes.
dual.
The initial one is always with the guy first, the first 2 sessions, and they get to pay for how many sessions they want. But if it's 4, the first 2 is without the wives, and the next ones are with the spouse always.
But it takes great courage.
It takes
for them to do that, because you know most black men, what they say, I'm not telling anybody. Go pay somebody to tell them all of my business.
Mm-hmm. Right.
They just reject that notion altogether of counseling. And, you know, it just further destroys the relationship.
Right.
You know, and then you get more, and then they become more frustrated.
Right, absolutely.
More angry.
Absolutely. And so many men, this one particular couple, this guy said, you know, I just want a divorce. And he could not tell his wife why.
Why?
He could just
He really probably didn't know.
Yeah, he knew, but he didn't want to face it.
Mm.
Yeah, he was then at 8 or 9, got molested by his dad, his biological dad.
Wow.
So in his mind, this is the guy I loved, and I got disappointed. So now the curse is going, this is the woman I love.
So she's going to do it. Let me divorce her before she does it.
Exactly right. That's
Wow.
exactly right. Yeah, and they were in my counseling classes. Yeah, yeah. He knew it was something. He knew it was something, and he would rather call it something than to say, identify. You know what it is, sir. I knew what it was. You know what it is. Let's talk about it.
How did that end? I'm just curious.
Oh, well, they're still together.
Okay.
And running strong. And it's not an overnight success. You have to talk about it and talk about it and talk about it. And he's willing. So that's the greatest medicine, being willing to talk about it. And this woman have to understand you, or vice versa. This woman.
That's the thing. She has to be able to understand if he's coming to her with his hurt,
absolutely,
with his trauma.
Now, the biggest thing I would tell us women, whenever our guys, they're humble enough to tell their secrets, let's be receptive. Let's understand. Let's walk with them. Let's talk with them. Let's cry with them. Because do not take this information and try to hurt these men. Because now they've relapsed. And they're going to kill up the whole household.
Exactly.
You understand?
Yeah.
So we have a role to play, a very strong one in our marriages and our relationships.
Right.
In friendships. If you and I are friends, you can't confess to me something, and now I want to take the same information and destroy you with it. It's not cool. And we are damaging each other more so that way than any other way.
Absolutely. We got to do better. We just got to do better.
Yeah, that's why the Lord blessed you with the tissue box.
That's right.
This is a great start.
Yeah.
This is a great start here.
And like I said, that's my whole goal. My whole goal and the whole purpose is to talk about this trauma. We have such deep fears and anxieties. All of us do.
Yes.
Nobody's immune to this.
Right.
We all go through things, but it's how we deal with it.
Right.
And being able to talk about it.
Right.
So that's the message that I'm trying to get out with the tissue box. Let's talk about what it is.
Right.
If you don't want to talk to me, talk to somebody.
Talk to somebody. That's exactly right. You will never get to your true self without confessing your greatest hurt.
Because like you said, we turn around when we don't talk about these things. Then you hear of all of these crazy things that are happening in the world. And you think, what is wrong with you? Why did you do that?
Oh, right. And it's bigger than you. It was bigger than me. Mm-hmm. It was getting out of control. I was so angry. It can get out of control. People end up going to jail, killing other people. It's just crazy. So deal with it. It's just like a cancer. It's eating your whole internal until you deal with it.
Wow. It's changing your whole facial expression. The way you look is different.
Right.
You look angry.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're carrying all of that. Let it go.
Yes.
Let it go.
Yes.
Grab a tissue.
Yeah.
Snot it out.
Right. Have that ugly cry.
Yes.
Because that's healing.
It is
It's healing.
It is healing. Cry it out and pick yourself up. And let's talk about triumph. Let's talk about the other side.
Right.
Getting to the other side.
And that's a beautiful thing because I made it to the other side.
You made it to the
Carolyn
other side.
Mobley, made it.
You are a living testimony,
That's
girl.
Exactly right. That's exactly right. And I so love it. And I will tell it because it changes lives. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
It changes lives, and I don't mind sharing it because it's a great outcome.
But you had to get to the point where you could share it.
Absolutely.
You could not have done that when you were 7.
No.
You could have not done that when you were in your teenage years.
No.
Even in your 20s, you probably couldn't have done it because you were still traumatized and you still had that fear.
It wasn't until the latter part of my 20s
that you realized.
Yes. This has to stop.
This has to stop.
Now get a hold of yourself, young lady. This has to stop. Now what's really going on?
Do you think that God was speaking to you?
Yes.
Telling you this?
100%. Yes. I just had to pull it together. Get all the facts in my head. Because when I told my story, I wanted it to be true. The true version of it.
And when you said you were angry at God, there was one point where you were very, very, very angry at him.
Yes.
How did you get unangry?
When I heard my mom's story, when I heard my mother's testimony. And of course, God, I'll be angry at me. I don't care. I need you to get this lesson.
Right.
You know, he understand we're ignorant.
Oh, yeah. Yes, he does.
And it was just the fact of going, first of all, my mom didn't want me Jesus, you know, and now I'm 7 and I'm getting molested. Now I'm grown, 6 miscarriages and bearing children. What in the world are you doing? It just didn't seem normal to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I can see it now, and I wouldn't change a thing. It was just reoccurring events after another that brought more hurt and more hurt and more hurt. It's like, do not, hey, you're hurting. I can show you what hurt really is. And every round kept getting higher and greater and greater and greater and greater and greater. But now I know what to do with that information, because people feel safe and comfortable with me teaching and mentoring and things like that, because I have my own true testimony.
Let me ask you this.
Please.
We're going to go back to your husband.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you did him a disservice by not being honest and truthful with him in the beginning about your trauma?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Do you think if you had talked with him about that you would still be married? Do you believe in marriage?
Yes. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. But whenever God has a spin on it, that had to happen. Because now I can tell you what you should have done, sir and ma'am. You can stay married. You understand? Unlike Carolyn Mobley.
Who couldn't at the time.
And it resulted in a divorce because I refused to face my facts and my fears. I could have just, hey, guess what?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I didn't do that. So save yourself, save your marriage, and talk about it. These people are entitled to know. My husband should have known.
Yes.
I should have talked about that. He made me comfortable enough, but fair. And that title, First Lady. You know, who wants a molested First Lady? Who wants a First Lady who's been raped? I was just...
So it was more about you than it was about him.
Absolutely right. That was just another little comfort the devil dealt me that I'll take that option. And that was the wrong option. If you're in a relationship, you would want Larry to tell you he's been in prison for 20 years, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
That's definitely something I would like to know.
And I refused to do that. And I at this point, I don't even know why. But God knows when. And we're friends. You know, he's remarried and all. We're friends, you know. So, and he forgave me for not telling the truth.
Oh.
He did. So that's what makes me another great moment in my life to help other people. Tell the truth.
Yeah.
You know, because that's false pretense. It's false. People can love you in your worst moment.
They can.
I couldn't see it. The devil had me thinking, oh, God, nobody would want you. Your mom didn't want you. Why would you tell it? Yes.
That's embarrassing. Why would you tell it?
Right.
Nobody wants to hear that.
Right. But that's...
Keep that fear locked up inside of you.
And die with it.
Right. And I'm going to watch you blow up.
Correct.
I'm going to sit back and watch you be angry and mess up all your potential relationships.
Sure enough.
That's what the devil says.
That's exactly what he says. And it was working until I decided I don't have time today.
Not today.
Not today. This is where it stops, right here. And when I started to tell it, I needed that tissue box because it was the ugly cry. It was because it was so painful. It was that pain was so deep. Oh my God! And it just cut and cut. But I kept telling it. I mean, every show I cried.
And then to know that it never goes away.
Right.
It still creeps its ugly little head up from time to time. But the thing is to not dwell in it.
That's exactly
right. Don't wallow in it.
Right. That's exactly right. Your destination is greater.
That's good.
Than the pain you think.
That's good, Carolyn Mobley.
I tell my people, you would rather hurt for a day, or would you rather hurt for the rest of your life? Let's talk about it. Get that tissue box. I don't want to hurt for the rest of my life. So I made the executive decision that day to tell my story.
That's tell your story, to make a change.
That's exactly
it. Stops here. I'm not dealing with this hurt. I'm not dealing with this anger any longer.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
And people loved me more. They received me more with the story as opposed to me not telling
work
it.
Like that,
yes,
though?
absolutely.
As soon as we let go and let him, we just look for a safety net.
Yes.
And we're not sure that safety net is going to be there. So we want to hold on to what we,
That's exactly.
this thing
Yes.
that we got instead of letting it go.
Right.
And big things start to happen
Absolutely.
once you let it go.
Once you let it go. And here I am over 50 years old and look so good because I'm walking
You
in
look good,
But
girl.
thank you. I'm walking in my peace now.
Yes.
I'm walking in my happiness.
So you're shining
now.
even brighter.
That's right. I'm not holding myself hostage anymore because that's what I did for a long time. I did not give myself permission to be Carolyn Mobley. I didn't.
You didn't even know who Carolyn Mobley was.
I didn't. Until that one day I decided, I'm going to tell this story. And God said, they're waiting on you. That's all I could hear in my spirit. They're waiting on you. Your voice would change a lot of people's lives. They're waiting on you. And it's like somebody had a Pepsi, just shaking it up and finally releasing the top. I felt that they were that's right. They were waiting on me. And oh my God, were they? So I began speaking. I was a national, international speaker. But the pandemic hit, and I find more solace in one-on-one. Because once you're on the stage giving your testimony, speaking, whatever, you're walking off, and there's that one lady or that one guy or somebody with that question on his face, and there's nothing you can do about it. But whenever I started to mentor and counsel, you got one-on-one. We can talk about it, cry about it. You will not walk away with a question that I'm not going to answer.
Mm-hmm. So your release what was your release? What did you do? How did you find solace in yourself and what you were going through? Because like you were angry, you had to be. So how did you get that out?
Other than talking about it, and answering the hard questions. Yes, you have to allow yourself to be open for the whole world. Are you ready for that? Are you ready, Miss Big P, you Big P? Are you ready to let someone know someone molested you, raped you? You have to be ready for it. And I stood in, I said to God, it can't get no worse. Let's go. Let's go. So once you let that devil know that you are taking him on head on, please, please. He's the biggest coward. With God's help, you can do it all. And I made up my mind that day, I'm going to tell it. Come on, Lord. Come on. I had faith in one hand and a job in another. And we put it together and we made magic in that studio that day. And the people were just calling in, just waiting for someone to say, yep, this is my story.
That happened to me.
That happened to me. And I'm talking about lawyers and doctors and judges and all kind of people. They just couldn't, because once I told my story, something started to ignite in them. You know, now God is leading them. Call. Come on, let's get this out. And now you can be a greater doctor, a greater lawyer, a greater friend, a greater husband, a greater wife. Let's get this. Let's root this cancer up. Let's kill this cancer because it's killing you.
That's right. And if we catch it in the early stages.
That's exactly right.
That's good stuff. That's
yes.
good stuff.
And people ask me, okay, your relationships now. Well, they know who Carolyn Mobley is now, so you really don't have to tell it. They know I'm that lady with that unique story. But yes, I do.
So let me ask you this then. So with that being said, do men approach you differently?
Yes. They're intimidated. That's the first thing, because I'm the woman that can potentially drag that truth out of them. And they're not ready for that yet. They're just not ready. And you have to be ready. I was ready.
Wow.
Yep. Alcoholic, you cannot. When are you going to buy your last beer, your last platinum bottle, whatever? you got to be ready to say, today, I'm not going to do it. So whenever they know that name, Carolyn Mobley, and they approach me, if they do dare, it's a different conversation.
They do dare.
It's a different, and then some guys are just welcoming. Oh, yeah. Oh, lady, I was waiting. I wanted to meet you so bad. I wanted to meet you to help me find my truth. And if you have time, here's what happened. Yeah. And the number one question is, how do you love now? Easy.
Right.
It's easy now.
That's
Oh, you got that burden off of you. Oh, God, yeah. And when I do meet and think about having a relationship, that everything. You can't catfish nobody with your feelings. You have to let, and your experiences, you have to let these people know. You cannot catfish nobody. They want to know that I'm a murderer. They want to know that I'm a rapist. They want to know I've been to prison. Yeah, you cannot do that. That's false pretenses. So you have to let these people know the truth. What version of you am I getting? Is this the authentic one or the one you went crazy last week? Let me know. You got to let these people know up front.
And see, just like you said, you know the right questions to ask.
Yes.
To get that information out before you decide you're going to go any further with this relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mom was schizophrenic. Okay.
I can help you, though.
I can help you, though.
But you're not the one for me.
Right. Mama schizophrenic and daddy was bipolar. Ooh, okay. Go to carolynmobley.com and schedule your sessions. Wow.
That's good stuff. But yeah, I just thought it would be interesting, though, as a guy trying to approach you, knowing your story.
Right.
How do you decide whether or not you want to go there with somebody, knowing everything that you've been through, and you've dealt with it, you're dealing with it,
right.
But still, when it gets close, when it gets pretty serious, is anything triggering in your head saying, no, I don't want to do this?
Right.
Or,
and that
or
is,
does the fear creep back up in your head?
That is a valid question. No, the fear would never creep back up again. Never creep back up again. But you ask yourself, now, when I tell Larry this information, what would he do with it? Because Larry had to be careful with Carolyn Mobley now. Sir, I don't want to relive these pains ever again. So I'm letting you know some of my greatest pain. I don't take this thing that I've shared with you and be one of the ones that put a dagger in my heart.
Yes.
See, that's the thing. So you have to make sure Larry is comfortable. He's man enough. His mental state is where it needs to be to accept this information and govern himself accordingly.
Accordingly, yeah.
Because that's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. People will really send you backwards if they now misuse this information.
Right.
You can end up, I'm sorry to say, maybe killing someone because you've suffered so much. And then you think that you love this person or having a potential relationship with this person, and they end up...
They deceive you.
They deceive you. That's why there's a lifetime. Those movies, those pictures those things are true. Wow. Yep, you have to be careful. So one thing about what I do, it gives you this inner intuition. I kind of can feel it out. It's not even worth it, honey. Don't even share. My name is all you gonna get. Google the rest. You know what I'm saying? You just know. And when you know, you know. It's not worth it, you know? And then for the ones that can't do anything with the information, it is something that they can't understand it because they haven't faced their fears. You understand? So the people that downright don't understand it, you know, well, here's my card. Let's chat. And it's not about money. You know, I give more free opportunities away than not because I want healing for these people.
Because you understand.
Oh, God, I understand wholeheartedly.
Wow. Well, we're going to have to get you back on the show.
Absolutely.
We're going to have to get you back on the show with a guest. How about that?
Yeah, how about it?
Yeah.
Time and place is all I need.
That would be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
You know, especially somebody that's, you know, recently gone through a trauma or dealing with a trauma from their past.
Right.
And haven't, you know, come face to face with it yet. And, you know, somebody that needs some guidance, just a little stir in the right direction.
Sure, because listen, when I got raped, got molested, when you don't deal with these things, you see how this thing, you got to deal with this stuff. Because if you're not careful, it can shut you down. Right. People are in the psych ward right now, all because never talked about it. And it just kept on adding up out of their control. And it consumed them. And the cancer is killing them slowly. Right there in the psych ward. These people are not crazy at all. They just hadn't dealt with a situation properly.
Wow. That's deep.
Mm-hmm.
Just dealing with it.
Mm-hmm. Just dealing with it. You got to deal with it. You cannot let it under the rug. Now your rug is sitting up higher than your house. Now what? This stuff is really real. And mental health is really real.
It is so real.
Yeah. Yeah, because as long as you live, tragedy is going to happen. Mm-hmm. Something is going to happen. And things still happen with me, but I manage it.
Yeah, you got to be mentally stable enough to handle it,
Right.
And, I've seen people, the slightest little thing just irritates them. And they just go out into full-fledged anger. And
they're
I'm
mentally incompetent.
Why?
Yes.
Why?
So whenever you see them go full-fledged, that's some deep hurt somewhere. Mm-hmm. That is some deep hurt. You don't fool with people like that, I'm here to tell you. You just don't. Because if their minds snap, that's it. That is it.
Wow.
There's one more person. Nobody's going to hurt me today because and I used to wake up ready. Nobody's going to hurt me today. Nobody's going to hurt me today type thing, when I was younger. Mm-hmm. Nobody, because I'm going to explode. Wow. Ticking time bomb.
And that was the hurt.
Yes.
That was the hurt speaking, not you per se.
Oh, yeah, that was the hurt speaking, yes. I was so angry at my mom. Oh, God, I was so angry. And wasn't unangry until I was about 40 years old.
So you held on to that.
Mm-hmm. For a long time. Yeah. I forgave her, but I was still angry. And I was angry because I needed to talk to this lady. Lady, I don't like you, but I need some answers.
So how do you know you forgave her if you're still angry about it?
I was angry because I needed to talk to her. I was not going to be angry all by myself. Mama, you're going to know how I really, really feel. I forgive you enough to make it in life. But I need to know something now. You can forgive a person and still be angry at the act. Yeah. And that's healing. You're going to go through your healing. Mm-hmm. And once I sat and talked to her, oh, my goodness, more so forgave her. The hurt just because this lady was pitiful.
And you didn't know it.
And I did not know it.
To then.
Yes. And then I had to forgive myself for being angry because now, this lady is sick.
Yeah.
Now, imagine if I never spoke to her.
Exactly. You wouldn't have had any closure.
That's right. She was not going to take it to her grave. And that was the last time she spoke in that hospital, McLeod Hospital. Yeah, last time she spoke. And then she
was telling you her truth. That was it.
Yes.
You needed to hear that.
Right. And I'm the only one out of all of her siblings that she ever told it to. And in fact, the two girls weren't there. I was the only one. The child that she did the worst ended up being there when she took her last breath. When she took her last breath, I took my first breath.
Wow. That's deep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I could do all things then. I had all the moving parts put together. Ooh, I just had to get in front of that mic. I just had to, yes. I felt empowered hearing it from her. Most people would say, you wasn't hurt when she said she didn't want you. See, you had already suffered the greatest thing. You just needed closure. So, no, I wasn't hurt.
Because you knew that all along.
I knew that all along. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. I just didn't want to continue to live making other people feel like she had me feeling. Like she made me feel. There's no way. And I did that for a long time. But it needed to stop.
Hurt people.
What? And I wanted to, I woke up ready to hurt them. Yes.
Wow.
Pitiful and didn't even know it. But I
And
would,
so many people are walking around
oh God,
feeling
yeah,
the same way.
right. And we talk ourselves into, something bad happened to me, so let's make something bad happen to someone else. It's justified. If I didn't think that in my mind, it wouldn't be fair. In my mind, I thought that. That was so pitiful. And once again, the fear was talking. So you have to make that executive decision. Today is the last day for this BS.
Right.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yes. Thank
I'm
you.
so proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so proud of me.
I'm so proud of
Yes.
you.
And I
what
love
you've been
me
through and
so much.
yeah, and you should.
Yeah. Because at once upon a time,
You didn't.
You didn't. I didn't. But I love me so. God did a good thing when he created me. Yeah.
Amen. sis.
Yes. And have the ability to help other people with the very thing that broke almost my soul. So I thank God for that.
Yes.
It makes sense now, Lord. It just makes sense now.
And you're walking in your purpose.
Yes, absolutely. But I couldn't without any of those moving parts. Every last single thing had to happen. That was the perfect recipe for this moment. Anything different, I wouldn't have been on your couch today. I needed all those moving parts.
I am happy for you.
Yes. But thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. And I'm sorry about your brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am. I know how it is when you're so close to a sibling, especially a brother. That thing right there. And you understand when I say you wake up with it every day, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it never leaves you. But
No.
you can deal with it better now.
Yeah. And then when I lost my dad 4 years ago, I really didn't think I was going to make it.
Right.
I mean, really.
Oh, God.
I
Yes.
mean, when I say that, I mean, I really didn't think I was going to
Sister,
make it.
I know exactly what you're saying. And I can honestly say that. Whew. Yes.
But God.
oh, yes.
I mean, every time you saw me, I was just full, just so, because he was my person.
Oh, yes. But you needed your own identity. You needed to walk in you. So in order for that to happen, God had to make a decision because you was dependent on this man. That was your everything.
Okay, stop. You're going to make me grab tissue. Because every time I talk about my dad, I get extremely emotional because he really was my person.
What? Yes. You was a daddy's girl on steroids.
Yeah,
Yeah. And when he passed away, you thought you lost a part of you.
I did.
Yeah.
A big chunk of me.
Yeah.
A big chunk.
And that chunk is back with you now because you're doing a great thing here.
Well, thank you for saying
Oh,
that.
God, yeah.
Thank you for saying that.
Oh, God,
'Cause,
yeah.
Yeah, I get, yeah.
Yeah. It had you.
It's gotten a whole lot better.
Yes.
It's gotten a whole lot better
Yes.
because when it first happened, I was like, there's no way I can't. And then to see everything and everybody else moving along, like today is just a regular day. And I'm like, God, my dad just died. No,
Right.
You don't get to be happy.
Right. That's.
We say those kind of things. We don't mean it.
Oh,
It's
I know
just
exactly.
It's just the hurt
Absolutely.
speaking.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah. Come far.
And he would be most proud of you right now.
And he is.
Look at you.
and he is.
All grown
this I
up.
know.
Oh,
This-
God.
Yeah.
He's kissing you on the forehead because you're doing a great thing.
Yeah.
You're changing lives.
Yep.
This is an awesome thing. The tissue
Thank you
box.
for saying that.
Oh,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Thank you. Well, I've enjoyed having you today. You must come back.
Yes, I've enjoyed being here.
Yeah. We've had great conversation. We touched on many topics.
Yes.
And we hope that this heals someone. And it will.
And it will.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I truly believe that this message is going to go out, and it's going to be big. Somebody's going to listen to it over and over and over again.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to have to.
Yes.
Oh
yeah.
because it's going to stir up something in them.
Oh, yeah.
That they know they have to deal with.
You're absolutely right. This what God has blessed you with your panel, the tissue box. It's not a moment. It's a whole movement.
Yeah.
You just wait and see what God is planning to do. Just be a vessel. You and your team, just be that vessel. And watch God change lives.
Thank you for saying that.
One voice at a time.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you again for being here. Make sure you visit thetissuebox.com. Get you some of this merch, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because you're looking good in it.
Thank you very much. Thanks again. I really, really, really appreciate it.
Pleasure's all mine.
Yes. Well, thank you for tuning in to this episode of The Tissue Box. We certainly hope that you have learned. We certainly hope that you have healed. And be sure to subscribe to thetissuebox.com so we can stay connected, and stay tuned for our next episode. Thank you for joining us. Be sure to subscribe, leave rating, and a review. And let's stay connected. Visit thetissuebox.com to join our mailing list. Until next time.